Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you have for protecting your brain as you get older. And guess what? It's the food you put on your plate. Now, this isn't about scaring you, not at all. It's about showing you just how much power you have. So, let's dive in and see how you can take control.
Go on. Just take a second and really picture that. You, surrounded by family, the laughter, that incredible connection, and you're effortlessly pulling up those precious memories. That's the goal, right? That's the future we all want for ourselves, that kind of sharpness, that presence of mind.
So, is that just the luck of the draw? You know, do some people just hit the genetic lottery while the rest of us are out of luck? For the longest time, I think a lot of us figured it was something totally out of our control. But it turns out the science is telling a completely different story.
And that is the key takeaway. It's not just about your genes. The daily choices you make, and especially the foods you choose to eat, can have a massive, massive impact. This puts the power to change your brain's future right back into your hands.
So, you might be wondering, just how big of an impact are we talking about here? Well, it's so significant that we can actually put a number on it. There's a strategy that can seriously shift the odds in your favor. So here's a really crucial shift in thinking we need to make. We've got to stop looking at food as just fuel, something to fill the tank. Because every single bite we take sends a message to our body, and especially to our brain. And that message can either say, hey, let's repair and protect, or it can say, let's create stress and inflammation.
And this is the number that just stops you in your tracks, 53%. Let that sink in. Studies have shown that a specific way of eating can slash the risk of developing dementia by up to 53%. I mean, that is a staggering number, and it's all tied to a diet you could literally start today.
So what is this powerful approach? Well, it's called the mind diet. And what the researchers did was brilliant. They took the best parts of two of the healthiest, most well-studied diets on the planet, the Mediterranean and the DASH diets, and they fine-tuned them, focusing specifically on the foods that offer the most protection for the brain.
You know, a really helpful way to think about all this is to picture your brain as a garden. It's simple, right? What you put into it is what's going to grow. When you feed it nourishing foods, you cultivate things like sharp memory and clear focus. But when you feed it junk, well, you end up growing the weeds of inflammation and that foggy, sluggish thinking.
Okay, so what are these incredible, nourishing foods? Let's get practical. Let's open up the toolkit and see exactly what we should be stocking up on. These are the food groups that really form the foundation of that powerful mind diet.
All right, first up, and this one might just be the most important of all, leafy greens. We're talking spinach, kale, collard greens, you name it. They're so ridiculously packed with brain-loving nutrients like vitamin K and folate that you should just think of them as your brain's daily multivitamin, straight from nature.
And the impact is just, wow, get this. Just one single serving a day. A study from Rush University found that people who did that had brains that were functioning as if they were 11 years younger. That's like turning back the clock on your brain by over a decade. It's incredible. And listen, getting that daily serving in is so much easier than you think. This isn't about forcing down a giant salad every day. A big handful of spinach wilts down to almost nothing in scrambled eggs or a soup. A little side salad with your lunch totally counts. It's all about making it a consistent, easy habit.
Next up in our toolkit is something a little sweeter. Berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, you name it. They're basically nature's brain candy. They're loaded with these powerful antioxidants that can actually get past the brain's defenses and protect our brain cells directly from damage.
And we've got proof from a huge long-term study to back this up. It found that women who ate berries regularly delayed their brain aging by up to 2.5 years. Think about that. It's like hitting the pause button on cognitive decline, and it just happens to be delicious. And hey, here's a pro tip. Lean on frozen berries. They are just as nutritious as the fresh ones, they're usually cheaper, and you can have them ready to go in your freezer all year round. They are absolutely perfect for smoothies, oatmeal, or just snacking on.
Okay, next we have to talk about fat. And I mean healthy fat, of course. We're talking about the omega-3s you find in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and trout. These fats are, quite literally, the building blocks for your brain cells. It's like giving the gears of your mind a much-needed oil change.
So why is this so critical? Well, check this out. Your brain itself is nearly 60% fat. That's its main ingredient. So it just makes sense that feeding it a steady supply of high-quality, healthy fats is absolutely essential for keeping it strong and functioning at its best.
The goal here is super simple. Aim for about 2 servings of fatty fish each week. And hey, if you're not a big fan of fish, don't worry. You can get these amazing brain-building fats from plant-based sources too, like walnuts, chia seeds, and flax seeds. Now, let's talk about fuel. Your brain is an absolute energy hog. It just burns through calories to keep you thinking, and it needs a steady, reliable supply. That's where nuts, seeds, and whole grains come in. Walnuts are fantastic for memory, while whole grains like oats give you that slow-release energy that prevents that awful brain fog you get from sugar crashes.
And to round out our toolkit, we have these amazing finishers. You want to make extra virgin olive oil your go-to fat to really fight off inflammation. Toss beans and legumes into your meals to keep your blood sugar nice and stable. And yep, enjoy that daily cup of coffee or tea, and get friendly with spices like turmeric for an extra layer of antioxidant protection.
Okay, that was a lot of information, I know. We've filled up our toolkit with all these amazing foods. So the big question is, how do we put this all together into a simple plan that doesn't feel totally overwhelming? Let's break it down.
So here it is, the simple game plan. 1 serving of greens a day, berries a few times a week, fish twice a week, a small handful of nuts for a snack, and just using olive oil whenever you cook. I mean, when you see it laid out like this, it feels completely achievable, right?
And you know, that might be the most empowering part of this whole thing. This is not about hunting down some rare, expensive superfood from halfway around the world. We're talking about spinach, blueberries, salmon, walnuts, and olive oil. These are foods you can find in any grocery store. The power to protect your brain is right there, accessible to all of us.
So I want to leave you with this thought. Every single meal is an opportunity. It's a chance to build a stronger, healthier, more resilient brain. This isn't about being perfect. It's about making one small, positive choice today. Maybe that's adding that handful of spinach to your breakfast, or grabbing some walnuts instead of chips. Because it is truly, absolutely never too late to start.